Every year, the United States deports over 2 lakh illegal immigrants back to their home countries. This includes many Indians who enter the US without legal documents. Deportation is often a very difficult experience, with many people spending months in detention centers before being sent back. Many deportees have shared their stories on how they were treated while in the US detention center. Some even have spoken about being kept in freezing cold rooms with minimal clothing, while others were shackled and handcuffed during their entire journey back home. These harsh measures have led to widespread criticism of the US immigration policy. However, when somebody is deported, a common question arises. Can they enter into the United States again? And what happens to their bank accounts, money, and property in the US? Let's break it down into details. The simple answer is that a deported immigrant can actually return, but not immediately. When somebody is deported, the US government bans them from entering for a certain number of years, which could be 5, 10, or 20 years, or even permanently, depending on the reason for the deportation. If a person is caught and deported at the border or the airport, they usually receive a 5-year ban from re-entering the US. This also applies if they skip their immigration hearing without a valid reason. If an immigration judge officially orders deportation, then the person is banned for 10 years, which is really common in such cases. If a deportee tries to re-enter illegally before completing their 5 or 10-year ban, they will receive a 20-year ban. In cases where a person has committed a serious crime such as fraud, drug offense, or violent crime, they will receive a permanent ban and they will never be allowed to return to the US. Even after the ban period is over, getting a new visa is really not easy. A deportee must prove that they will follow US immigration law and apply for special permission to re-enter. Some people apply for waiver. That is a legal request to return earlier, but these are very difficult to get. In the meantime, the US government only grants them in a very rare situation, such as if a person has a US citizen, spouse, or children, a medical emergency, or a business reason that justifies their return. However, even if a person qualifies for a waiver, they must go through strict background checks before being approved. In most cases, deported immigrants must wait their ban period to be over before even attempting to apply for a visa again. Another major concern for deportees is their money, bank account, and financial obligations in the US. Many deported individuals worry about losing access to their bank accounts, loans, or investment. However, the good news is that deportation does not erase financial assets. If a person has a bank account in the US, it remains active until and unless they personally decide to close it. They can still use online banking to check balances, transfer money, or even withdraw cash from an international ATM while living in India or any other country. Many deportees continue to use their US bank accounts for years after being sent back. If they own businesses, property, or stocks, those assets remain in their name until and unless they choose to sell them. However, while bank accounts remain open, any debts, loans, or credit card balances do not disappear. If a deported person has a car loan, personal loan, or credit card debt, they are still legally responsible for paying it back. The US banks and financial institutions can take legal action to recover unpaid loans even if the borrower is no longer in the country. In some cases, if a deported person owned property in the US, the bank can seize it to recover unpaid loans. If the person had co-signer, that is, such a person such as family member or friend who helped them get a loan, then the co-signer will be responsible for paying off the debt. For people with large unpaid debt, US banks can hire international collection agency to track them down in their home country and demand for repayment. A common question that people ask, whether the US government can seize bank accounts after deportation. Well, in most cases, the government do not seize accounts just because somebody was deported. However, if the person was involved in criminal activities such as fraud or money laundering, then the US government can actually freeze or even block their accounts. This is done to prevent illegal money transfer or any financial crime. But for most regular deportees, these accounts stay open and functional, and they can still access their own money. Another case, if somebody is deported from the US, the best thing they can do is to stay informed about their financial situation. They should check their balance account online and, if needed, transfer money to an account in their home country. It's also very important to inform their banks about their situation to prevent any unexpected account freeze. If they have outstanding loans, then they should make a plan to repay them or discuss options with the bank. Also, if they hope to return to the US one day, consulting an immigration lawyer is a smarter step, as legal professionals can guide them on re-entry possibility. So, overall, deportation is a very challenging experience, but it does not mean a complete financial ruin. Many deported individuals continue to manage their money, pay off debts, and even find legal ways to return to the US after serving their ban period. So, if you want to know more about how illegal migration happens, why so many Indians take a risky route to the US, or how deported Indians rebuild their life, let us know. We'll break it down for you.